at Limeball Public Library today. I'm Carol Gaddis, the branch manager at Limeball, and this is a historic day for us as a library and as a library system celebrating 75 years of service to our community. So we're so glad to have you today for this. And I have a couple of special guests that I just want to welcome today. We have Brigadier General retired David Ogg and his wife Pam. He is the grandson of Mila Parson, who was the first librarian for our library system and the first librarian at Limeball. So we're so glad to have you all today with us. And we also have Betsy Lassiter Clark here today. She is the daughter of Robert Lassiter, who started this chain of events with that special article. And we're going to talk about that today. So welcome. We're so glad to have you. Before our Director of Libraries comes up to introduce other guests, I just want to give a very brief history of our library system. For a more detailed history of the system, you are welcome to purchase a copy of our newest book by Lisa Ramsey. It's called Books in Our Town, correct? And that is a wonderful history just to show us the community it takes to build a library. And so we're so glad to have that today available. It all started with an editorial in the Rutherford Courier. Editor Robert Lassiter included this now infamous sentence in a January article in 1942. It is a sad commentary that a city of schools such as Murfreesboro, a city supposedly of education, knowledge, culture, and breeding, should have no public library. This inspired Murfreesboro native Henry T. Limeball to make a $5,000 donation toward the creation of a public library in his hometown. His only stipulation, it be named after his mother, Maddie V. Limeball. With this generous gift, Limeball Public Library was formally opened on April 1st, 1948. The first location was the old Hale home at Central Memorial Park with Mila Parsons as the librarian. By the end of the year, Limeball had over 1,200 borrowers and circulated over 40,000 books. From that humble beginning, Limeball Library has had several locations, including the Elks Club on Spring Street, the old post office on West College, and finally, moving to our current location in 1992. But we didn't stop with just one library. In 1960, the Smyrna Public Library was opened in October of that year, with Jimmy Webster as the first librarian. They would also move to a new building, and then in 1970, and then again to the current facility on Enon Springs Road West in 1999. Ginger Graves is the current branch manager at Smyrna. The Bookmobile began serving our communities in 2003. A new vehicle was purchased in 2005 and decommissioned in 2021. In the interim, Bookmobile staff have continued serving the community with other RCLS vehicles, but we look with anticipation for a brand new Bookmobile to arrive in the coming months. That's a wonderful anniversary gift for our community. Garrett Crowell, who is standing back in the back, oversees the work of the Bookmobile for our system. The Myrtle Glanton Lord Library, or MGL as it is known, opened in December of 2004. This branch library is located in the community center at Patterson Park and named for the longtime educator. Alan Welch served as the first supervisor at MGL, and Mindy Barrett is the current branch supervisor. On January 1st, 2006, the operation of the Eagleville Bicentennial Public Library was assumed by our library system, with Debbie Turner as part-time supervisor. Donna Jordan, who is not with us today, is the current branch supervisor. In July 2018, the Technology Engagement Center, or the TEC, opened its doors, becoming one of the first bookless libraries in Tennessee. Kathleen Tyree was hired as branch manager and continues in that position today. And then, last but not least, after many years of planning, the newest branch of RCLS was opened in August 2021 and named the Historical Research Center, HRC, and was located at the Rutherford County Archives. Longtime Linebaugh employee Lisa Ramsey, who's back here, moved to the HRC as supervisor. Rutherford County Library System continues to grow and serve under the leadership of Director of Libraries Rita Shacklett, who has served in that capacity since 2008. After 75 years of providing service, the library has undoubtedly exceeded the dreams of Robert Lassiter. His belief that, quote, books are the route to knowledge, helped ignite the community interest in public library. And the Rutherford County Library System will continue to serve, striving to meet the challenging needs of providing ever-evolving free resources and services for everyone in our Rutherford County communities. Thank you. Before I let Rita come up here, I do want to say a very special word of thanks to our friends of Linebaugh Library under the leadership of Burl Beasley for their generous support in providing for this event.
Okay, so I haven't been here for 75 years. Just so you know, I hide my age well, but I have been here for about 47 of those 75 years. So I just want to thank Carol for all the work she did to put this all together. I thank everybody for coming. If you haven't met, we've got a lot of board members, past and present. So make sure you introduce yourself to folks. We have some foundation people. John Trail is the chair of our foundation board. And we have a fundraiser coming up next weekend if you want to come. But my job is to get to introduce some special people that make this all possible. And the first one is our board chair, Raleigh Holden. Raleigh?
Hello, welcome everyone. Hearing Carol's talk earlier, you have now been saved from about a third of the comments I'd planned to make. But the one thing that this library grew, and she mentioned it, it grew because it fulfilled the needs of the citizens of this city and this county. And that is what has helped it through all of these years. And even today, this library and our other branches are helping the citizens of Rutherford County to, in the words of our mission statement, to explore, imagine, engage by providing access to information and technology. And as she mentioned, all of those resources that these libraries have to offer are free to the citizens of Rutherford County. And that is due to the support we receive from Rutherford County and the cities of Murfreesboro, Smyrna, and Eagleville. I think Carol also mentioned the new bookmobile, which all of us are eagerly awaiting, because the one thing it will do, it helps our staff. It makes it easier on them to do one of the things that they do so well, and that is to take a part of this library out to places like daycares, assisted livings, and nursing homes, and letting the citizens in those facilities have access to a library. It will also allow our staff to have a more prominent presence at different community events. But looking forward, we also look forward to the day when this system can add new branches so that our citizens in underserved parts of our community can have an easier access to a library. But that is for tomorrow. Today is a day to honor and to remember men like Robert Lassiter and Henry Linebaugh and others whose vision, hard work, and generosity were instrumental in starting this library. They and those who have followed them have helped to create a wonderful library system. And so really, on behalf of the Rutherford County Library System Board of Directors, I want to wish Linebaugh Public Library a happy 75th birthday.
Can I just ask real briefly, if you are a current or former board member, would you stand up, please? People need to see who you are. These folks give of their time and they have to listen to me, especially treasurers, right, Joyce and Tim? So the next one, I have to be careful with what I say. The vice mayor of the city of Murfreesboro is here in lieu of Mayor McFarland, who had another commitment at the last minute. And so Vice Mayor Bill Shacklett, you are limited to no more than 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Wow.
3.
Well, I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here today. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories because that's what I do sometimes. My first memories of the library was when Rita and I were dating. And the old library where the Center for the Arts is, I had an apartment down Church Street there and had to walk up to work where the studio was. And we were just dating at that time, and I still remember putting little notes. I'd see her car, when I'd see her car there, I'd put notes on her car and draw little pictures. You remember the little the little picture of somebody peeking over the thing. So anyway, I'm sure that's what captured. Yeah, right. Yeah. But it was just a precious time of connecting with her, you know, because like she started as a cataloger, I guess, or what did you start as? A clerk is when she started. I think she's done just about everything. But each of us have a story about the library, either growing up in the library or our families, bringing our families and children to the library. All of us will, you know, realize that this has made a big part of our lives. And there's memories and treasured memories that we'll have about our experience here. Because I go out into the school sometimes and read the Reading in Schools Day, and I always ask the kids, raise your hand if you don't like to read. And there's always 1 or 2 kids that raise their hands, you know, and say, I don't like to read. And I said, well, you know what, you're me. Because when I was in elementary school, I didn't like to read. And my mom always contributed to my eyes, and you know. But this librarian, Ms. DeGeorge, over at Hopgood Elementary, she had heard from the teacher that I didn't like to read, and she came to me and she said, "Well, what do you like?" And I said, "Well, I like sports and I like history." And she said, "Well, every time you come to the library, I'm going to have a book for you." And every time I went to the library, she had a book, a history book or a library book, and she lit a fire in me. You know, I loved it. She said, "You want to find out more about history and sports? It's in a book." And I started reading. I don't know if you remember those old orange and blue history books. I read every one of them that were there. Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, all these things that I kept on reading because I wanted to find out more about them. I'd tell the kids the same thing I tell y'all. I said, you know, I fell in love with reading. And in fact, I love reading so much, I had to marry a librarian. So, you know, I just want to, you know, remind us, and I guess after 75 years, I don't think anybody could have imagined that we would be where we are with our public library, providing the services to our citizens and providing that launching pad for kids and to launch their imagination and their creativity. And that's what it does. Light a fire in them, just like Ms. DeGeorge did with me. Light a fire in them as to what could be, what they could imagine for themselves, for their futures, by being in a public library and learning to read. So we all want to say thank you, and on behalf of the mayor and the council, I want to thank everybody that's put a brick on that wall of our public library, done something, you know, and so many people have done something to make this, to bring us to this point. But on behalf of the mayor and the rest of the city council, I want to say congratulations, happy birthday, and I just wish that we'll all have a time to celebrate. It's very appropriate that we as a community celebrate what the library means to us. Thank you.
And I would be remiss if I did not thank the city and the county and the town of Smyrna and the city of Eagleville for their support of the library system, because that's where all our funding comes from. Some library systems are funded solely by the county, solely by the city and their departments of that city, but we are fortunate, I think, in having all these funding bodies support us. And so we are actually employees of the library board. So Raleigh is my boss. But, so thank you to the city for their support, and thank you to Joe Carr and the county for their support. And so now it's Mayor Carr's turn from the Rutherford County.
So I have been told to be very brief, and so I will do just that. Carol, thank you very much for that history lesson on the library. Quite honestly, there's a lot there that you shared that I had forgotten, and I really appreciate you sharing that. And the reason that's important is because, Bill, I too am a history guy, and I really enjoy history because as we craft the vision for this county and this community, it's so important in doing so that we understand what our history is, because there are valuable lessons there. And so there are 75 years of very valuable lessons that can teach us about how this library system has grown. Things that I didn't know that are very important to me now as the county mayor, because the library system is just not integral to our community, it's foundational. It's foundational to giving hopes and dreams and vision to the young people and giving continued purpose to our elderly. And so it's absolutely essential, Bill, that the city of Murfreesboro and the Rutherford County government continue to fund and support this system for the invaluable work it does to our community. And let me just say, as the Rutherford County mayor, you have our unwavering support as we move forward and as we grow. And this is the first day of the next 75 years as we grow, and we continue to see it grow. So thank you very much. I'm honored to be here to share that with you, and just please know that you have the county's full support. Thank you. God bless.
So we're moving up the chain. We started with the city, we've moved to the county, now we're going to the state. And I am pleased, this is my first opportunity to get to meet him, but we have a new state librarian and archivist, Jamie Ritter, and Jamie has joined us today coming from the state. So Jamie?
Well, thank you very much for letting me attend and be part of your celebration. Happy birthday. My name's Jamie Ritter. I work at the State Librarian Archives in Nashville. We have some of our team here in the couple rows back. It's our regional office staff that help to support libraries throughout the state, and in particular, our Stones River branch helps to support Rutherford County and other libraries in the region. So thanks for coming as well. I heard some great things. When you hear words like imagination and foundational and vision that are associated with the library, it really says a lot. And it says a lot about all of you and the folks that help to build this system and this library in particular. I've always believed, and you've probably heard things similar to this, but the library is the anchor to the community, or the library is the living room and the soul of a community. And those things are really true for all of the reasons that you've heard about today. It's there's a saying that there is no great community without a great library. And I think that is represented here and through all the work that you've done. I was not always in the library business. I was in financial services, and then I saw the light and switched over, and the rest is history, so to speak. But I remember back to one of the first library experiences I had as a young boy, being able to check out records, not books, but records. And I thought that was just so cool. And I was Beatles and Billy Joel and other artists, but look at where we are now. It's not just about the books on the shelves. We have complete technology and the enlightenment that comes with learning how to use 3D printers. We're engaged in helping people find jobs, write resumes, helping people that are interested in their health. Maybe family members become sick, they want to learn more about whatever that is. And we really help to change lives by bringing the information that's on our shelves to life through conversations, the work that librarians do, and that engagement. So again, thank you for letting me be here. I think it's cool that the future starts today. The next 75 years start today. And I'm glad, being new to the state and new to this role, that I can be a part of that growth as well, and to see what comes to be, because no doubt whatever you do over the next decades to come, in 75 years, is going to be remarkable. So thank you very much, and I appreciate being here and meeting all of you. Take care.
Last but not least, and I know they're not ready for this, but if you are a staff member, an employee of the Rutherford County Library System, would you stand up or wave or something? Because people need to. These are the folks that make it happen. These are the folks that build the relationships. So I thank you. Carol, do you have something else, or? Come on up here. Come and use the microphone. She didn't tell me I was supposed to do anything but introduce people, so. And Carol deserves a round of applause for all her work.
Thank you. I just wanted to say one more time, thank you again for being here, for supporting your public libraries. We do want to encourage you to write a memory of a library, and if you do that, you'll get a great sticker that you can put on your water bottle, and you can be entered in a raffle for a very special gift basket from Country Gourmet. So you can do that. We'll draw for that next Monday. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. Also have some cake and cookies and enjoy your time visiting. Thank you so much again.